What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video review. Today we're going to take a look at Captain America from Avengers Endgame. This is the 2012 version from the first Avengers, and you can order this at bigbadtoystore.com. I'll put the link down below. $4 shipping, and you can use Pile of Loot, so you can ship it all at once and only pay $4. But let's take a look at this. Let's unbox this figure. I kind of promised myself I'm going to get most, not all, most of the Avengers Endgame, and I'm one step closer by picking this up. I still have to pick up Thor and Professor Hulk. I will eventually at some time. Maybe Bro Thor first, but I always wanted this because I wanted to pair this up with my Mark 7 and the Loki that I'm about to get whenever it gets released sometime in the near future. But this is an amazing figure. Again, I'm a big fan of Infinity War and Endgame and Avengers in general, so this is a must-have for me. I had the first version back in the day, but I sold it a while back. So this is a great opportunity for me to have him again at an upgraded, version, so to speak. And look at the shield. The shield has a damage right off the bat. You can see there. It has just a minor scratch on it, not a big deal, but you see all the accessories here. You see this big case that houses basically the scepter from Loki, and the base itself is the Avengers, basically the end game base for Captain America. This small piece right here, see, this is not a die-cast shield, this is plastic, but I'm not used to that. This is the first time I've seen one right out of the box, and you can see here this is the case that it does have foam inside, so you could put the scepter in if you want to, or because I'm gonna get the Loki as well, so it's probably gonna stay inside because the Loki, I believe, has 2 scepters as well. Because I did sell my Ragnarok Loki in preparation for getting that Avengers Loki. As far as accessories, I wish I had the first one, but you can see the hand gloves here, but is this better accessory wise than the first one? The first one has 2 shields and that Chitauri blaster, whatever you want to call this. So the first shield of the first one, it is die cast, but it flakes. It is known for flaking. Now, I keep in mind, I do hate the shield. The only shield that I like, you see that damage right there, was the Age of Ultron one, because it is magnetic. I hated those straps. Now they improved it. I believe it's less fragile now, but I'm still afraid that it's gonna break on me. It's just as that. You see the head sculpt right there. You got the base that is practically a recycled base from the Endgame cap that we saw, and you see the scepter right here from Loki, and this is from the scene where they're trying to transport basically this scepter. So if you are into photography, you don't really need 2012 cap, even though for display purposes you might want to have 2, but if for Photoshop, you just basically clone him and that's it. You take a picture of one end, and then you can simulate him fighting. You don't really need 2 figures out there. But this is a good looking scepter, as you can see here, nicely painted, and the case itself is nicely done. It snaps on and off, so those tabs that normally is used to open and close a case, so it kind of looks like a gun case, like those Pelican case and whatnot. No, Pelican doesn't look like this, but you know what I mean. They don't really work. It's more of a snap base, and then you kind of push it in, inwards in one of those places to get it open. Those are not really working. It's not one of those, but it is beautiful. Now, the paint application on the body itself is nice. Well, I don't know why I put it paint apps, but the tailoring is great. The tailoring is great on this guy right here. Is it better than the first one? I don't know. I think it's more vibrant. Does it move better? It's hard to say, because he also doesn't move as well. But I do like how it looks. Obviously it's a big improvement. If you watch my review back in the day, the proportions are better. The boots certainly I didn't fix that well, but you can position it where the peg is not showing. You can push it forward or back. I just want to show you guys that it is split cut right there in the boot. The one on the left hand right there, that's how it's supposed to look like. And moving up now, the tailoring is good. It's just that it's Captain America, so the articulation is not that great. I wish it was better. I wish that what they do in the arms where it is kind of pushed in. There's two seams. I don't really necessarily know if it's gonna work for this suit right here, but it really does hinder a lot of poses. But as far as aesthetics is concerned, it looks great. This is the scene where he was called America's ass, and the pants are not baggy. It is just form-fitting. It's nicely fitted, this entire look right here. Even the boots is well done. So as far as that is concerned, I am completely happy with it. Now, this next segment, as you know, after we go here, we're gonna go to the head sculpt, and this is an image I found on the internet, and we're just gonna segue into the actual head sculpt itself, and I think it looks beautiful. Is it an improvement from, I don't know, the 2012 version that maybe came out 13, 14? Absolutely. Yes, I would definitely say that. Again, I don't have it in hand anymore, but I would say it's a massive improvement. Now, could they have done the same thing that they did with the Endgame cap, where you could replace the mouth plates? Absolutely. I wish they would have done something like that, but on the chin / neck area, it's a bit more deeper, I suppose, on this one than the Endgame cap. But I think they could have still done it. A missed opportunity there, but hey, this is not their primary concern, I suppose. This is just, an addition to the 2012, to the Endgame line that they do have. Although I would say this would be a good replacement for your older cap. So if you have a lineup of the first Avengers, let's say you still have that Black Widow and Hawkeye, if you're like a completionist, you can post it either way. You can post it with your Endgame lineup or with your original Avengers lineup as well. With me, this would go with the Mark 7, and because I do have the Age of Ultron Hulk as well, and the eventual Loki that I would get. Now, as far as the head sculpt for the unmasked version, practically it's the same head sculpt as we got from the Endgame cap, which is not a bad thing. I think it's one of their stronger head sculpt. Is it perfect? No, but the paint application is beautiful. I think the sculpt is actually there. Yeah, it's not 100%, as you can see from the transition that we just did, but it is strong enough for me not to complain about it. Let's just put it this way. Man, look at those lines. Those are clean on the back of his hair. But again, it's the same head sculpt as the first one. Not necessarily a bad thing, because even though you are gonna make an argument that this is 2012, this is the cap that came from the Endgame that just jumped in. So yes, this is gonna be the same head sculpt as he was in the Endgame version. So the other one, is it really that big of a difference? I don't think so. So this is the portion where this one is not that strong in articulation field. And I wanted to, because, he got some awesome fight scenes there by himself. But you can see here, you can't even lift the arms sideways all that much. If you want to move it forward, and I'm not being careful here, I'm pushing this and it's just bouncing back. It's just how it works. And even the double jointed elbow, there, the movements are restricted because of the suit. Now you can move the hips here, hit the waist side to side. There's a little bit of ab crunch there. You can spread his legs a tiny bit. Normally the pants would go in the way, but not here. It's the entire outfit itself, and you see split cut. You can move the ankles around. You could do some poses still. Not that dynamic. You can see here, on the armpit area, it's kind of tugging and pulling. So I would be careful if I'm posing this. If I were you, I would be really cautious posing this guy around. And moving on, as speaking of poses, I'm gonna put him in some poses. I'm not gonna push the limits here because I feel like I'm gonna break it, and I just got this. It's actually a beautiful figure. So here we are. He's kind of holding the scepter there for Loki, with his shield. Again, I hate the shield. Once you put this on, it's not coming off, especially the hand that's holding that grip right there on the shield, because that's the one that always breaks, almost always breaks. And here he is, you know, again, I'm trying to raise his hand as much as I could, his arm, but this is, I would say, the highest you would go, as safely as you would go without breaking it, or potentially breaking it, or the suit damaging it. So it's up to you however you want to, you know, push the limits of your figure. But I just want to show you, I tried. And here he is, you know, along with other Captain America, which I would post a video as well for comparison video. This is probably the end of the line for Cap for me, you know, no pun intended there. But this is the 3 Caps, my favorite ones from the original Avengers, Endgame, and Infinity War. If you watch my video, I pretty much reviewed every Captain America figure there is to review. But I obviously didn't keep them all. But I think this is the 3 ones that I would definitely have in my collection. And like I mentioned earlier, as far as the Avengers, the original lineup, I know the Hulk is from Age of Ultron, but this is how it looks like. You know, if you have Hawkeye or Black Widow, they're older figures. I don't suggest you go back and hunt them down. But the Mark 7 is the die-cast version. Age of Ultron Hulk, still pretty badass. And if I get the Loki version, I would be completely happy with that representation of the original Avengers for me. I don't need to go back and hunt Hawkeye or anybody like that. Now, final thoughts on this figure itself. It is a beautiful figure, in my opinion. The price is decent. You get 2 head sculpts, a shield, and that beautiful case with the Loki scepter. Now, that scepter would come in handy, especially if you only have a Ragnarok Loki and you don't have Bruce Banner, because that is the only way you would get this scepter without buying the Avengers Loki or the Endgame Loki. Now, if you're gonna buy that, you know, there's obviously no need for that, but it's still a pretty cool looking piece. Again, I love this version of Captain America. I love the first Avengers movie. The colors are vibrant compared to the Endgame version and the Infinity War version. So it feels more comic booky / you know, just a hero, so to speak. Now, a lot of people are not keen on the design of Captain Puerto Rico, basically what they call him. I do like it. It's not my main Cap. I would say this is not the Cap to own. It's still the Endgame version. However, this is a good supplement if you could afford to do so, to supplement your Cap or your Marvel or your Avengers line. I would say if you have the means, go for it. This is one of those figures where I feel like, at least once it sells out, it will be one of those things that people are going to look after, you know, 3-4 years from now. Not immediately. I think it's going to sit for a while. But let me know in the comments what your thoughts on the figure. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.